Ladies and gentlemen, we still have second topic with the big theme, technology supervision now and future. FinTech 360, latest development in InsurTech, which will be moderated by the COO Koala, Bapak Tommy Martin. Please welcome Bapak Tommy Martin.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to all webinar participants, startup enthusiasts, and fellow fintech players, and our experts and speakers for the session today. Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, this webinar is part of the FinTech 360 degree program with the big theme of technology supervision now and future. In this session, we're going to discuss about the latest development of InsurTech. InsurTech has been growing fast in the past few years with the focus of empowering insurance companies to create a more accessible and affordable insurance products to millions of customers through technology. To enable customers to learn, experience, and enjoy insurance, and also to better protect all of us against unexpected, just like this pandemic that has hit the world real hard. So today we will discuss on how the recent development of InsurTech, on how insurance industry in adopting the digital strategy, and also the perspective from the regulator and supervision board to govern and empower the growth of InsurTech. I'm Tommy Martin, as a co-founder of Koala, one of the leading InsurTech in Indonesia under the OJK supervision. Today, I will be the moderator for this discussion. And next, before we start with the presentation, allow me to introduce some of our prestigious lineup of the speakers for today. So we have Mr. Ahmad Nasrullah as the head of Non-Bank Financial Industry Supervision Department 2A of OJK. We also have Mr. Arup Chatterjee, Principal Financial Sector Specialist at Sustainable Development and Climate Change Department at ASEAN Development Bank. We also have Ms. Hu Jun, Director of Insurance Intermediaries Supervision Department of China Banking and Insurance Regulatory Commission. And we have Mr. Hastanto Widodo as the Chairman of General Insurance Association of Indonesia. And last but not least, we also have Mr. Henki Jojo Santoso as the Head of InsurTech Department at Life Insurance Association of Indonesia. Good afternoon, everybody, and nice to meet all of you today. And for all the participants today, the whole webinar will be in English, but we also provide translation so you can actually access this feature by clicking on the feature on the Zoom application. We also would love to hear from you. So if you have any comments or if you have any questions, please drop your questions on the Q&A feature, and we will answer your questions after all the speakers deliver the presentation. Without further ado, I would like to welcome our first speaker, Mr. Ahmad Nasrullah, as the head of Non-Bank Financial Industry Supervision Department 2A of OJK. Mr. Ahmad has more than 26 years experience in the financial services industry. Before joining OJK in 2012, Mr. Ahmad previously worked at Ministry of Finance for 18 years at the Pension Funds Department. He also graduated from University of Queensland for his Master in Professional Accounting and also Bachelor Economy from University Satya Negara, Indonesia. And on this session, Mr. Nasrullah will present about the government policy in supporting the development of InsurTech in Indonesia. Let us hear directly from Mr. Ahmad. Pak Ahmad, the time is yours.
Thank you very much, Pak Tommy. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and to all the speakers. First of all, I would like to thank for inviting me to this opportunity. Indonesia FinTech Summit, Pekan FinTech Nasional. I believe I have 10 minutes to talk, and this is actually not much of time, so I will concise the presentation. Actually, my staff already submit the material to the committee, and maybe we can share the screen, please. Thank you. Okay, before I start my presentation, first of all, I would like to shortly brief to explain about the insurance business in Indonesia. We do have insurance law number 40, which already implements. This is actually the amendment from the first law in 1992. The the key emphasis that I would like to talk here is that the insurance business in Indonesia, uh, yes, before I talk with this outline, I would like to shortly describe about the insurance business in Indonesia. According to our law, that you cannot doing business in Indonesia, doing insurance in Indonesia, unless you have a company that have a license from the OJK here. It means that I don't know, in other countries, maybe you can set up like a brand in other countries and sell your insurance product, but not here in Indonesia. If you want to do business in Indonesia, then you have to make your insurance company here, like a business entity that already get a license from the OJK. Now, if we talk about the insurtech, I believe I don't have much time to talk all this. Let's start to the first slide. Next, please. Uh, yes, what is insurtech? I believe the insurtech, there's so many definition of this, but the key word in this insurtech is the utilize of the technology to either compete or provide value added benefit to the insurance industry. So if we talk about the insurtech, actually we talk about the technology that maybe can be used by the insurance company or their broker to speed up their selling, also to help their process, and to help they to give a better service to the policyholders. So nowadays in Indonesia, actually, we do have the development of this insurtech. There's so many players here, insurance company mainly, uh, have their system or their IT to robust their selling through the technology. And we have also uh, filing actually received so many proposal from the insurance company for them to do this insurtech. Let's jump to another slide, I think, because we don't have much time. Next, please. Yes. Like I mentioned before, that if we talk about the insurtech, uh, in this discussion, we only talk about the technology that support the business of the insurance company. So if we talk about the regulation, actually Indonesia has a regulation to govern the insurance business that already in place through the law and also through the POJK. And with regard to this insurtech, actually we have regulation in the Financial Service Authority number 73. This is the governance of the insurance company. Uh, in one of article, it also described that insurance company need to implement the effective of IT. And also we have in other regulation, in regulation number 69, that also describe that insurance company can use their own IT service or use IT service provided by a third party to do the insurtech business. Uh, so if we see the market here in Indonesia, I think not as many countries like in our neighborhood itself. We admit that we have still very low in insurance literacy and also a very low insurance market. That's why we believe and we hope the development of insurtech will will increase our penetration and our market share in insurance industry. That's why through this insurtech, regulator very hope that I think this is the challenge and also the opportunity to the insurance industry to maybe make the their product to be sold to other society through this technology, so the penetration and also the literacy of the insurance for the society is increasing. So I think we jump to the last slide because I have only 3 minutes left. Yes, there is two. Yes, this is, I think, this is the InsurTech regulatory design, as I previously mentioned before, that actually we have already all the regulation in place to do the insurance business. So if we talk about the insurance, this is only the use of the technology to, again, to help the distribution and also to help the insurance company from the maybe pricing process and also until the settlement of the claim. So OJK at the moment, we prepare the other regulation to regulate this insurtech, mainly about the operational of digital insurance as and reinsurance broker service. We have also discussed with the association in this case to make the regulation for the insurtech is in line with the goals of the OJK. As we know, OJK is mandated by the OJK laws, have two main goals. First is to develop the industry, and on the other hand, we need also to protect the consumer of the insurance industry. So this is the challenge also to the OJK to set up the regulation. In one hand, we need this insurtech to be developed, and the market of insurance company can be improved. While on the other hand, we need also to protect our customer, in this case, is policyholders. I think that's all that I can present. If you have a question, I will be more than happy to answer in this later on. Thank you very much, Pak Tommy.
Thank you, Pak Ahmad, for your presentation and also sharing in terms of like the existing regulations. And also we will be excited to see the upcoming regulation on the insurtech as well. And for the second speaker today, we going to welcome Mr. Arup Chatterjee as a Principal Financial Sector Specialist at Sustainable Development and Climate Change at ASEAN Development Bank, or ADB. Mr. Arup is responsible for leading financial sector development initiative in the areas of financial sector reforms, regulatory and supervisory oversight architecture, insurance, pensions, and social security, takaful, and fintech. He has earlier served with the International Association of Insurance Supervisors at the Bank of International Settlements, Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India, and also the Ministry of Finance, Government of India. Mr. Arup will share to us about the development and opportunities and the challenges on the insurance industry in the digitalization era. Please welcome Mr. Arup. The time is yours.
Thank you, Chair, distinguished guests, fellow panelists, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor to be here with you today. I am looking forward to sharing some key ideas about the role of regulation and supervision in unfolding the promise of InsurTech in creating a resilient and inclusive society. Slide 2, please. The fulcrum of insurance has shifted to Asia already. In PPP terms, please. In PPP terms, if you see, Indonesia is supposed to become part of the top 5 in terms of market share in the world. So there is a lot of work to be done to fulfill the promise of remaining in the top 5 for Indonesia. A rapidly expanding middle class in Asia and efforts to expand financial inclusion will trigger explosive demand for insurance. With improved living standards, households will spend more on protecting their assets, lives, and incomes and buying more insurance. The same holds for access to healthcare, that means health insurance, and also with people living longer and aging, the need for life insurance and pensions related products will also increase. However, the coverage remains low, and that has already been pointed out by Pak Nasrullah, and millions are still uninsured or underinsured, signaling a significant protection gap. In 2015 itself, Mike Carney, the former governor of Bank of England, mentioned about risks of climate and used a term, tragedy on the horizon, when he reflected on the hazards related to climate change. And he was referring to a property protection gap. And this gap is $134 billion itself in Asia. In addition to that, there are other gaps. We have a mortality protection gap of about $83 billion in Asia. We have a health protection gap of about $1.8 trillion, which is about 10% of the annual household income. We have a pensions protection gap, which is $70 trillion. And with so much of talk about digital world and infotech and fintech, we will have a cyber risk protection gap also. And Asia's exposure again is about $27 billion in terms of indirect losses. So that's the risk exposure, and that's the opportunity, and closing these gaps will be very, very important. And when you read the tea leaves, InsurTech holds the promise not only for extending protection for a resilient future, but also with better modeling and pricing of risk, introducing alternate distribution channels. It will help in reducing costs and demonstrate transparency for last mile transactions. Next slide, please. So the InsurTech solutions we look at are emerging as primary growth drivers, and we find the Internet of Things is something which the insurers are focusing a little bit more, along with data analytics and mobile technologies, so that it provides better risk insights and also customer engagement models. And very rightly so, that's where the focus should be, because that will help in not only better engagement with customers so that they have experience of insurance, but also to develop more innovative products. And that is something where regulators need to be commended wherever they are encouraging such initiatives. Next slide, please. So InsurTech's main value proposition would be in terms of introducing new products or services, lowering the acquisition cost, making the products simpler and less costlier, and reducing the cost of policy administration in terms of better efficiencies for insurance operations. And in all these things, we find that the new generation of data collection techniques, analytics, and other data, even using remote sensing data and all, these big data solutions will provide opportunities to reduce model hazard, help in calibrating media premium, which reflect the risk characteristics. So in a sense, insurance solutions will provide insurance will provide solutions for protection, for access to finance, and also for de-risking. And it will also provide risk-sharing solutions for managing idiosyncratic risks, and also provide risk transfer solutions for managing the more what you call the covariate risk. Next slide, please. But with all these things, there are also emerging regulatory concerns about risk. And I see this from three different sides. One is from the consumer side, other from the firm side, and also from the financial stability side. For lack of time, let me give you a couple of examples. From the consumer side, adoption of new insurtech solutions could inadvertently or intentionally provide manufacturers or distributors of insurance products an opportunity, in some cases intentionally, to mislead consumers or also expose consumers to fraudulent activities. Digital divide may have unintended consequences, with focus more on youth and populations living in cities, and the elderly, women, and other segments may tend to suffer. So in terms of reliance on science and technology, there will be a lot of outsourcing to third-party providers, and this will increase interconnectedness related risks around operational failures, and also there'll be more exposure to cyber attacks, and that's where the firms would face more risks. And in terms of financial stability, this has already been highlighted by the Financial Stability Board. Insurtech, fintech related risks, if they are not controlled and managed properly, when things get scaled up, pose financial stability risks when there are many failures happening at the same time. But that's too early to say at this time, because the market is very nascent, but this is something we need to be cognizant about. Next slide, please. So in terms of regulatory responses, the focus is on governance, the focus is on internal controls, the focus is on operational and capital liquidity related areas. There are standards which are already coming up, for example, like the GPDR in the European Union, but the frameworks still need to look closely at issues related to data gathering, data storing, data sharing, and also both domestically and cross-border. And therefore, that is an area which should be an area which should remain in focus. Then the next area where supervisors also need to increasingly reflect is the viability and sustainability of business models, how well boards and management understand the risks, and also in terms of how firms are also capacitated also to use those technology. And talent in this case is a very, very important aspect which needs to be looked at closely. We might have the best technology, but we still need talent. SupTech and all might help regulators to monitor, but again, you need to develop and put the right systems in place. Finally, to move in terms of moving forward, I would like to summarize that the first wave of InsurTech has passed, and the startup phase is now over, and we are now moving to a scale-up phase. The best prospects have to be identified, and the big chunks of capital are already moving in terms of investments to these areas. But regulatory certainty and observance of international regulatory best practices, by having a common level playing field, consistent regulation, predictable regulation, will help in attracting investors and further growing not only InsurTech, but the insurance market itself. So today there is more focus on back office technologies, but tomorrow it will move more at the front end. And within 5 years, we will have markets running on blockchains. Underwriters would be replaced by artificial intelligence. You will have a lot of phone apps and things like that. But then the future of InsurTech is more about than just technology. We still need humans. even when you have the traffic lights in place, there are traffic jams, and still you require a policeman to declutter the traffic and ensure that the traffic moves smoothly. So the human intervention will still be very, very relevant and important, but InsurTech definitely is the is something where regulators need to put more attention. This will help in instilling trust amongst the public. It will help in ensuring trust also amongst the institutions so that they fulfill that promise on which so that the spread of insurance is widened. So regulators need to come up with more proportionate and consistent regulations and incentivize innovation by carefully balancing risks and rewards. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Arup, for the presentation, and also to highlight the importance of like regulation and the supervision board to govern the insurtech development in order to protect the customer and the industry as well. And our third speaker today, please welcome Ms. Wu Jun as the Director of Insurance Intermediary Supervision at China Banking and Insurance Regulatory Commission. Ms. Wu Jun joined China Insurance Regulatory Commission in 2007. It's renamed as the China Banking and Insurance Regulatory Commission in 2018 after the merging with the China Banking Regulatory Commission. Before that, Ms. Wu Jun worked in China State Administration of Market Regulation, engaging in the consumer rights protection. Ms. Wu Jun has more than 10 years experience of insurance regulatory supervision across multi-supervision division at CBRIC. Currently, she takes the role of Director at Insurance Loss Adjuster Supervision Division, Insurance Intermediaries Supervision Department of CBIRC, with the key responsibilities of supervising insurance intermediaries nationwide. Ms. Wu Jun will share to us today about the InsurTech supervision. Ms. Wu Jun, the time is yours.
Good afternoon. I'm very glad to participate in this forum and share with you about the application and development status of the InsurTech in China. First of all, the application of the InsurTech in China have been constantly and deeply developing. The applications of science and technology to the insurance industry have experienced three phases, one after another. They are electronic finance and computerization, evolution to internet and portable insurance, and insurance automation and intelligence. In general, the innovation and development of InsurTech stem from the essence and feature of insurance. The vivid and lively market practices have refreshed the millions and highlights to the InsurTech. Furthermore, internet insurance is an important embodiment of insurance technology and an important channel for the insurance industry to serve the economy and the people's livelihood. The rapid expansion of internet insurance provides fertile ground for the InsurTech. As an important energy-driven development of the insurance industry, the InsurTech has gradually extended out of the scope of internet insurance, made an impact on more application areas of the industry, and grown into the core force to push further development of the industry. In this process, the technology and insurance industry continue to collide and fuse. It carries out the new ideas of technology application and promotes the development and the popularization of technology. Currently, new technologies and have a wide impact on the insurance industry. Many refer to cloud computing, big data, artificial intelligence, blockchain, and the Internet of Things. Among these technologies, the computing resources supported by cloud computing are an important basis for the implementation of other technologies. With the development of cloud computing technology, the demands computing and analysis of large amounts of data have promoted the development of big data. Based on computing resources of cloud computing and the data resources of big data, the application services represented by artificial intelligence come into the picture. The fifth generation mobile communication technology will converge the related technologies, especially the technology of the Internet of Things, which will undoubtedly bring change into entire social and economy operating model. Accordingly, further affect the development of the insurance industry. In recent years, China's insurance industry has proactively applied new technologies such as big data, cloud computing, and artificial intelligence to the business in order to continuously enrich insurance products, improve service abilities, better customers' experience, increase operation efficiency, and enhance the capabilities of the insurance industry, supporting to the economic and social development. As the world's second largest economy and the world's largest insurance market, currently, China insurance death and the insurance density still have gaps with the developed markets. However, it can be foreseen that with the efforts of technologies, talent, and data communication, China will become an important insurtech market in the world. Secondly, I am more than happy to share with you some successful cases of insurtech application in China. The first one is flood delay insurance, a practical case of blockchain. By the means of blockchain technology, the flood delay insurance is developed in the air travel scenario to realize three automatic operations: automatic payment, automatic procurement, and automatic claim settlement. The whole process is paperless, no claim reporting, and once the flight is delayed for more than 2 hours, the intelligent contract will be automatically triggered. Till today, there are more than 20 insurance companies in China that have provided the flight delay insurance. The second case is the freight return insurance, which is a practical case of big data. Freight return insurance is designed for e-commerce scenario and possesses typical features of early online scene-based insurance products, such as small amount, fragmented, high frequency, but it still has small unique features. The first feature is a tremendous transaction volume. In 2018, the annual premium was 874 million US dollars of 11 billion insurance policies. The second is requiring extremely high time effectiveness. During the Double 11 period of 2018, the peak number of transactions per second of the Zhong'an Insurance Company is over 30,000 policies. The third is dynamic customizing pricing. Big data technology could induce tens of thousands of parameters for dynamic real-time measurements and quotations. The third case is the application of the Internet of Things to health insurance. The Zhong'an Insurance Company has cooperated with the Internet platform, including Xiaomi Sports and Le Power, to launch an health insurance per which is China's first health management plan, combined with wearable equipment and fitness big data. Till today, Bao has reached business agreements with more than 50 smartphone and smart device makers and fitness-related apps, and has cumulative combined more than 20 million users. The fourth is a sample case of AI applied to auto insurance pricing and loss adjustments. Dingsunbao is developed by Ant Financial Services by the means of deep learning image recognition, monitoring technology, and cloud algorithm. Dingsunbao can identify the accident photos to proceed highly efficient loss adjustment. In the past year, Dingsunbao has helped 6 insurance companies settling about 42,000 claim cases, collecting and processing 324,000 case photos, which achieved an accuracy rate of 98%. The insurance company reduced 50% manual work volume in the operation of loss adjustments. The last but not the least, let's look forward to the future of InsurTech and also share some advice. Firstly, the InsurTech will drive to reshape the industry ecosystem. With the continuous evolution and development of insurance technologies, the insurance industry will realize the reshaping of the future insurance ecosystem through 3 stages: optimization of existing formats, upgrading of innovative formats, and reconstruction of value systems. Secondly, the InsurTech will bring new risks. New technologies have created new business models, and new models have caused new risks. Insecure IT systems may cause data loss, theft or disclosure of customers' private information. Further, following the in-depth development of InsurTech, product format will continue to innovate, giving rise to pricing risks and difficulties to risk control. The advices for the future are, firstly, insurance companies should increase investment in science and technology, change organization structure, and focus on talent training. Secondly, technology firms should respect the business nature of the insurance industry, comply with regulatory and market practice, and proactively use technology to empower the insurance business. Thirdly, the supervision authority should encourage insurance technology innovation, establish a digital supervisory system, break data exchange barriers between insurance supervisor and other administrative authorities, perfect technology standards, and regulatory policies. This is the end of my speech. Thank you for your listening.
Right. Thank you, Ms. Wujun, for sharing a very insightful presentation in terms of the insurtech development in China. By the way, for all the participants just joined us, I think welcome to the webinar. We are still discussing the latest development of insurtech. Please remember also to leave the questions in the chat or the Q&A session, and we're going to address that towards the end of the presentations. For the next speaker, please welcome Mr. Hastanto Widodo as the chairman of General Insurance Association of Indonesia. Mr. Widodo currently serves as the President Director of Asuransi Bintang since 2016 and previously served
Asuransi
as
Bintang.
Asuransi Bintang, yeah, and previously served as Director Commissioner at multiple companies, PT Samudra Indonesia, PT Sudarpo Informatika, and Asuransi Signa. Mr. Widodo obtains his IT doctorate from University Gunadarma and graduated with Master of Engineering degree from Curtin University of Technology, Western Australia. This afternoon, Mr. Widodo will talk about development, opportunities, and also challenges of the general insurance industry in the face of technological development. So please, Mr. Widodo, the time is yours.
Thank you, Tommy. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished speakers. I would like to take you for a glance at the future of insurance industry ecosystem. I'm calling it the real insurtech because insurtech itself is not just intermediaries. It should be also the application of technology in insurance company as well as the supporting technology. I would really like to quote Jack Ma. Note on his belief that the technology that is not the technology that changed the world, but it is the dream that behind the technology that changed the world. So I would like to take you at our first, we could call it, this is an insurtech because this is a crowd donation platform being deployed by the Association of General Insurance of Indonesia. In this platform, we are actually fostering transformation, local economic consumption, and insurance campaign, image campaign, reaching out the new empathic society that now currently blooming in Indonesia. So the system actually adopt a QR code payment for accepting donation and distribute donation using mobile apps and with the remote reporting on the web as well. So in the future, this will be our future scholarship and tuition for us to actually able to give a donation as well, tuition, scholarship, and even perhaps building like public health or education infrastructure. The social responsibility program that is available in industry. So this is the first, like, we just only use the philanthropic side of the insurance. So the early adoption of the technology, I would like to show you that the insurance is actually working on artificial intelligence. So we have a good example. We also have like marketing and content center. You use like network processing, behavioral signal processing, and emotion recognition technology. That will be a future of customer interaction. I mean, I'm able to show that even with the AI, we are able to serve the claim for the insurance industry with other people. So this new technology, the implementation of artificial intelligence insurance industry is it's not Google actually that to be used in this solution as an insurance company. So well, it's not a very distant future. Indonesia is being very lucky that the United States is actually going up to those right? Actually, covering the whole area of Indonesia. We combine data from this instrument. Actually, we will able to get the source of the information, the surface time of the Indonesia, even the surface temperature. So one of the interesting part of the fact, especially of the third quarter and the second quarter, is the fact even though the GDP is actually decreasing by 5.3, the GDP actually increased by 9% in the second quarter. When the contraction is 3.2, we still see that the agriculture is still growing by 7%. So this actually going into the agriculture, and then most of the story on the cotton and maize. Anyway, we IFC and MOU for a project in Sulawesi, where will actually give a financing to those cocoa harvesting as well as for replantation of the cocoa in Sulawesi, and they will provide assurance that will come even so this is the new things that we currently working on. We would like to develop like this insurance that will enable to get some of the working capital, also but investment capital. And the good days will pay their own if the year is good. But because of the weather and climate changes, insurance will actually help the fully or partially the loan repayment on the bank. How this thing will be able to work? It will be able to work because I, as an institution, will actually publish the soil water index for each meter cubic of soil data for each 25 square kilometer. We do have a proof of concept data. This is based on like satellite data on the 9th September of 2020, and using the instrument of monitoring index as well as atmospheric microwave radiation of the soil itself. So we try to have in April our position next April. Hopefully this will be an implementation of technology in insurance. So it's not only of technology in the marketplace for the insurance. The part is actually also the because of the Ministry of Health produced the regulation about regulation. It's regulation number 20 total. That it will help the operation of telemedicine. We're working with USA with the World Bank as well with the of this strategy to move forward. Luckily, we now the agreement to have a split mechanism between BPJS and the health insurance. So we will be able to combine the insurance coverage. So one thing that we're looking out in the future. We plan to have using you and the different. We have 60 company in Indonesia. We the same will have those. So if you think about the future of the car insurance, you will see that will be using-based insurance because later you will have intelligent the information system technology. We will be able to do a geospatial and so on. And also the medicine market as well as using the artificial intelligence. The artificial intelligence or actuarial intelligence, because in the future the problem might be having the machine doing the deep learning on the pricing for so many parameters. So I think that we are looking at really in this GPT-2 actually without the human interface. And then also on the two pictures, what is coming from text. Now it's totally generated by the generative social network algorithm able to generate fully fake features, fully fake, go to this generate the image. It looks the risk within. There's the small inside the imminent risk because the risk is already happening, such as cyber risk, artificial intelligence risk, isolation, and so on. We could see that this risk is already happening. We could see already coming. So the risk is real. But the COVID issue, if we see that which is you have the genetic testing, genetic alteration, you have the nanotechnology, even you have the infectious diseases and the non experiment. If we talk about like the new vaccine, COVID vaccine, which is come from the virus, and then the vaccine what will be delivered by through lipid particles, which is actually on second or third layer, you know, emerging into the inner circle. So we are and things is being escalated very fast. You see that this is now will be a race for so based on that, to take you on the fight now. Well, we have that's it for right now. You can see that if we talk about the Maslow pyramid, that previously we talked people is which is the self-regulation economy and people like to do a self everything. But immediately everybody will actually go down to the back, which is to fulfill their physiological need and safety security. And looking at everything that like 60% people income, people income actually decreasing, and then this is a survey based on and also the spending is decreasing. Also saving is decreasing. But you could that people do. Now, cashless payment is actually increasing very, very big to the society that's not happening in Indonesia. We will never see this if the pandemic is not happening. The good thing actually to offer McDonald's, not only order from, please also order from McDonald's. Go please do not that really provide 40 billions of donation to help to pandemic and also Gojek also special money for you to be able to fit the Gojek driver. So I think we are testing even in the country and the company we should be being a pick up just as the economic the business as a concern do a lot of things in the future. Looking at implementation of this uh, technology in the insurance industry, not the insurance industry, intermediate, but also like as well as the functionality, support functionality of the insurance industry. I think that's really brief for presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Widodo, for the presentation. Last but not least, our fifth and last speaker today is Mr. Henki Jojo Santoso, as a head of InsurTech department at Life Insurance Association of Indonesia. Mr. Henki currently serves as a president director of Ciputra Life since 2016. He started his professional journey working in the banking industry with HSBC and Bank Dagang Nasional Indonesia, but moved to the insurance industry in 2003 and has since worked for Signa Insurance, AXA Group, and also was the president director of AXA Life before joining Ciputra Life. Mr. Henke graduated with Master of Commerce from UNSW, Sydney, and also the Chemical Engineering degree from ITB Bandung. Mr. Henke will share to us about the development and opportunity and the challenges of the life insurance industry in the face of technological development. Without further ado, please welcome Mr. Henke.
Thank you, Pak Tommy. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished speakers. I think we have the presentation. Can someone help with the presentation? Yeah. Next slide. Yeah, sorry, the presentation is in Bahasa, but I try to deliver it in English. With the interest of time, probably I will skip a few slides. So let me start the presentation. I think we all know that 2020 is very challenging year, not only for insurance industry, but also for all the industry in Indonesia. I think technically we have entered into recession, but I think we should be optimistic because a few indicators has shown significant recoveries. Next slide, please. Next slide. Next slide. Yeah. So how about insurance, life insurance industries? In terms of performance of life insurance industries, next slide. Sorry, next slide. Yeah, in terms of performance of insurance industry, in terms of total premium, for the first semester 2020, we have negative growth compared to the first semester of 2019. We have total premium of 88 trillion compared to 90 trillion in 2019. Next slide. Same story for the total asset and total investment. We have negative growth of 10.2% and 10.5% respectively. Next slide. In terms of the investment portfolio, majority of the investment portfolio of life insurance is in mutual fund or reksadana, with the based on the semester 1 2020, it's 142 trillion, which is around 30% of the total AUM of mutual fund in Indonesia. Next slide. In terms of total claim, I think the claim has grown steadily from 2014 up until 2019. Is almost double from 74 trillion up until 140 trillion. For the first semester 2020 compared to the first semester 2019, it declined slightly by 1.9%. Next slide. In terms of the type of the claim which is paid, mostly is related to the investment value or saving value, which is like nilai tebus is mean redemption in terms of the redemption of the saving value or the investment value. Next slide. Okay, so how about the penetration of life insurance? In the penetration of life insurance in Indonesia is still very low. Based on the population, the penetration of life insurance in Indonesia is just 6.1% for the first semester 2020, and based on the PDB or GDP gross domestic product is only 1.2%. And for the density of the life insurance, the average premium per person is around, for 2019 is around 733,000, which is very, very small compared to our GDP per capita, which is around 59 million rupiah. Next slide. So in terms of digitalization, I think for life insurance industry, we have started digitalization in the last few years. However, with the pandemic, with the changes of the uh, consumers' behaviors, I think it will speed up the process of digitalization. Next slide. Life insurance industry has launched several innovation in terms of using digital technologies with the relaxation of the policy issued by OJK. The investment link product, which previously has to be sold face-to-face, now can be sold using the digital technology, using the video conference and so on. And also in terms of the licensing, now the applicants can use mobile apps to do the licensing and get the license from AAGI. Also in terms of claim, several companies has deployed mobile apps, web or online services for the customers to do claim, so they don't have to come or submit the documents manually. And also for a lot of insurance players have developed the cooperation with the digital technology, including the fintech. Next slide. Opportunities, definitely, we have a lot, we still have a huge opportunity for life insurance. We have the total population of 270 million, and we have the big number of middle class segment, and we have huge economic prospect, also big numbers of working population, and we have still very low life insurance penetration. I think technology going forward will play a pivotal role, will play an important role to increase the penetration rate of life insurance. Next slide. So what are the challenges? In summary, the challenges are how we can create competition and collaboration, not only among the life insurance players, but also with all the stakeholders, including the regulator. So to drive forward the digitalization in the life insurance business. Also how we can build a connected ecosystem, so it will which will create a seamless experience, a very nice and very convenient user experience for the customers, not only in terms of the pre-sales until sales, but also after sales until customers submitted the claim and also get the benefit. And the thirdly is how we can continuously educate the customers about insurance. So increase the insurance literacy. And also it has to be supported by the balanced regulation which not only focus on protecting the customers, but also giving room for innovation, which in the future will further develop the digitalization in insurance. Next. The next challenge also in terms of how we can continuously increase the quality of the human resources in the insurance industry. Definitely now we are competing with the fintech player or digital players in terms of acquiring digital talents for building our digital capabilities. Also, in terms of the infrastructure in technology, this again stressed the importance of collaboration and building an ecosystem with all the stakeholders, because technology infrastructure is not cheap, especially for probably currently the digital marketing is not really a big contribution for life insurance company. We are still relying on the convenient distribution like agency and bank assurance. So if we have to build digital infrastructure ourselves without a collaboration, then it will be very difficult for us. And the next is how we can create the right product. It's not merely bringing the product that currently sold through the conventional channel into online, it will not work, but it has to create the right product for the digital channel, which will provide a different experience, a seamless experience for the customers. Next. I think that's all. That's conclude my presentation today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Henk. Unfortunately, we are a bit behind of the schedule, so we're going to keep the QA session shorter. So we have questions from the participant as well. So I think this is probably a question for Mr. Arup and also Ms. Wujun. So I think given the regulation of insurance is developed pre the digital era, right? While at the same time with the emerging of the digital platform today, it's also present a very big opportunity to partner with them in order to distribute insurance company to the mass customers. So from your perspective, what are the potential regulatory or supervision development that can be done in order to be able to support this kind of initiative better?
Should I start?
Please do, Mr. Arup.
Okay, thank you. I think that's a very relevant question. Today, we have hybrid models or models which are coexisting, you know, the tech dominant model and the insurance distribution models. But at the same time, from a regulatory standpoint, we have to look at a level playing field. And that understanding of the level playing field is something where the jury is still not out, you know. What does that level playing field mean? If for a prudential regulator, the level playing field would mean that similar risks meet similar regulatory treatment. So from that point of view, I think whether it's prudential risks in terms of underwriting a particular risk, whether it's done through online channels or through channels which are human-centric, the risk characteristic won't change, you know. But you will be able, using information technology or insurance technology, you would be able to price the risk better and calibrate the risk better in that sense. So you can bring down the band within which the risk pricing takes place. And if that can be justified to the regulator, definitely what you call organizations which are using tech stand to gain in terms of price competition, you know, where they're able to demonstrate that they are doing a more accurate risk assessment compared to those who can't come up with models. The problem is again with the models, you know, because there is now a competition between models and the algorithms and things like that. So which is the best algorithm and all those are things also which need to be looked at. And there is a tendency, of course, at a very nascent stage, things are quite light touch, but as things scale up, the regulators would like to then put in cushions in terms of capital to so that there is no unnecessary exposure which is getting underwritten. So that is more on the prudential side. On the distribution side, of course, there are issues in terms of mis-selling, which I also highlighted in my presentation. And that is an area where there is a lack of trust, I would say, between the insurance company or the distributor and the customer because of legacy reasons. It's not because of something new which is being introduced. So if the regulator can put in the right grievance settlement mechanisms and the protection mechanisms to protect consumers who have been missold an insurance product, possibly that would help in repairing that trust. And that's where sandbox type of arrangements becomes very, very useful because both the regulator and the industry, this is a new area, so we are all learning together. So the regulator and the industry can learn together, calibrate the risk, understand the opportunities, and then tailor-make regulation as the market evolves. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Arup. Ms. Wujun, do you have any answer on this? Hello, Ms. Wujun? Okay. Yeah. So I would love to continue discussing this. I think, but unfortunately, we are running out of time. I think as we learned today, right? I think technology innovation must continue. We all excited with the future of the insurtech and the but having a proper regulation and supervision in place would be very important to protect the customer and the industry. So today is the era of collaboration, and together with OJK, insurance, insurtech companies, fintech companies, we can empower and speed up the financial inclusion. I would like to thank all the speakers today, and also for all the participants in this session. Thank you for being part of the event. On behalf of the entire organization committee, hope you enjoyed the session, and we do apologize if there's any inconvenience caused. I'm Tommy Martin. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you to the moderator, Bapak Tommy Martin, and all the speakers for joining us in this discussion. Ladies and gentlemen, we are deeply honored to have all the guests and speakers to share the knowledge of accelerating economic recovery through Indonesia FinTech Summit 2020, Virtual Conference Day 11 to 12 November 2020, to survive and to thrive, accelerating national economic recovery through concerted efforts in the digitization of Indonesia's financial services. We sincerely thank you for the kind support. See you again in the next events. Salam kebajikan. Om Santi 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 Om. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.